So today we've got The Hero of Ages, the third book in the Mistborn trilogy. So I'd like to say, just start off by saying that this background right here is something you won't typically see in the future. I'm back in T-Town, Tulsa, aka Oklahoma, and so I don't have like my usual setup, and so I actually have a camera here and I have some lights already down here, and it's like this basement area, so it's like a really good studio. I'm not gonna be down here a lot. I just don't have time to like set up, you know, upstairs in my bedroom trying to figure out where I want to start recording videos, that kind of stuff. Anyways, we got The Hero of Ages, and this is a part of the Mistborn trilogy, as I've said before. This is the third book. So the first one is called Mistborn. If you guys have not seen this, or read it, it is amazing. Go read it now, because I can't really tell you anything about this book because it is the third book, and otherwise I'd be spoiling you significantly. All I can tell you is it's awesome. So read it now or perish. So we're about to go in the spoilery section. If you guys have not read this book or the second or the first, please do not continue on. But for those who have, I'll see you in the nearby future. Alright, so guys, welcome to the spoilery section. So this takes place 1 year later, and so we get to see Vin and Ellen. They come back, their boss, you know, it's all this great stuff. They're like, watch out, and they're trying to unite the empire that they've created. It doesn't make much sense when the world's ending. I know, it's just like, they're just doing it because they're trying to find the caches, which makes a lot of sense, so I get that. But okay, and then we get to be introduced into hemorrhagy, like, right away. It's like so crazy. Brandon Sanderson came up with yet another great magic system. Like what? Like holy guacamole. I know it involves the other two, but seriously, it's just like all of a sudden he's doing one thing and then the other. It's like ferrocheming, then allomancy. It's just, what? It's just so cool. And then, you know, I love the aspect of Marsh. I mean, Marsh, no one cared about Marsh. I didn't care about Marsh. I mean, at the very beginning, all the way to the middle, and then I was like, so now he's like this character, and literally Ruin is like controlling his thoughts. You know, if you ever just talk about, you might be able to, like, society might make you say a certain thing because, you know, it's not politically correct, but like, to control your thoughts, you literally can't control them. Like, whoa! There's certain beats and offbeats that Brandon Sanderson really knows how to work with because, you know, he's done it throughout this whole trilogy, go from one character point of view to the next. But one I really liked at the beginning of the book was Tensoon. Tensoon and the whole Kendra inner workings, we never got to discover that. And so it's like a mystery box. The way J.J. Abrams always does his movies, like, oh, this happens, mystery box. Like, what? And so we get to see everything the Kendra are. And then so we find out that the Kendra religion is actually Sazed, or Sazed, as Brandon Sanderson calls him. I call him Sazed because it's just much cooler. It's actually his, you know, Terrace Min religion. Character development in this book is insane. So, okay, we see Vin and Ellen. They're kind of themselves. Nothing much happens. You can't really develop this character anymore because they went through all their development in Welva's session as, you know, as far as you can go at this point. I mean, you only get another year and they're really just doing the same stuff. So they're still boss, but you don't see a lot. And that ultimately leads to the justification of, you know, their deaths. Which their death, it's just great. It's like a bittersweet, it's perfect. Anyways, another great thing is, you know, Spook's and Sazed's character development is massive. I mean, the Well of Ascension, we get to see, oh, he gets to love again, oh, she died, and then all of a sudden it's like, Sazed, he's just like he goes into a state of depression, and it kind of gets annoying because it's so repetitive, but again, it's just Brandon Sanderson doing what he has to do. I mean, he literally nailed depression so perfectly. Though it's repetitive, that's kind of what it is. When you read it, you kind of get depressed with him. He's like, well, he's right, and he makes you question why, you question with Sazed as well. So that's a great aspect, I think. And in Spook, he goes from being just like a character you don't care about. There's no point in him at the beginning of Mistborn, but, you know, Brandon Sanderson has this master plan in store for everything. So he's like, woo! And now he's like this main character who's like taking over Uatu. I don't know how to say that. Anyways, another aspect was Kelsier coming into being Ruin. And most people probably knew this just from the dialogue itself, that Kelsier was actually Ruin. But it just frustrated you to know that Spook was falling for Ruin when obviously, if you guys know about Kelsier and his personality, Kelsier would never say these things. So it's just another good aspect that Brandon Sanderson did. Vin and Ellen go to a ball. What? Throwback Thursday. Okay, so literally, Balls literally made Mistborn like this perfect. It had these beats and this and that, and it literally let it, because, you know, it isn't like Well-Ascension or Hero of Ages. It's not like this imperial thing. It's like this thieving thing. So going into like noble society, it's just like something you have to grow out of, which it did well. But going back there, it's just such a great experience. It's like Throwback Thursday. It's like nostalgia. It's like a nostalgia trip, like Star Wars. You know, it's like throwing Han Solo in your face, but it's not. It is cool. It's great. I love how Brandon Sanderson did that. Okay, so later on in the future, it's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but whatever. So then we find out Ben gets captured, and then Reen shows up. I literally like peed myself because what was happening, because, you know, if you guys watched my Mistborn book talk, I literally said, because I got to the point in the book where it's like, okay, Reen's obviously not coming back in this book because, well, Ascension didn't show up. In this book, he didn't come back. There's no hints of him coming back. So I typed in, like, obviously not, because I made a stupid prediction that he was coming back. So my heart, like, sank. Like, I was like, oh no, oh no. Oh no, is he back? But it turned out to be ruined. So, huzzah, I was saved. But other than that, I literally was so scared. So now we see TenSoon trying to find Vin, because he's already bamboozled everything, he's escaped. And so now he's like, he goes to, Orseer tells him about Kelsier after he like interrogated him, his body. So he takes Kelsier to use him to his advantage. And literally everybody was like, or it was at night, so no one knows. Two guards like, and then he's like,
yeah, I'm a survivor of half sin, yeah, do my bidding.
And so he ends up finding some rumors, it goes here, there, and everywhere, and that's how TenSoon. But another thing is, I never realized till the end of the book that Ben and TenSoon never like met up, and I was like, they talk about each other so much that I was just like, oh, I figured they already met like after he broke through. I don't even know why I was thinking that. But they never met up, so that kind of sucks, but, you know, it was played so well that I didn't really find a thing in it because I was too caught up with everything else. So now at this point in the book, all of a sudden, we get ash. It's heavy. You're waist deep. It's black. It's crazy. And you never stop to think, like, because if you're like me, I like go through. I'm like a power reader. So I never stop to think that it's like, humanity actually like might die. And I was like, whoa. And humanity does die. I mean, basically in a sense, humanity's doomed. But you never think of it like, oh, you got Vin and Ellen, they're discovering stuff, they'll probably stop them. But you never think about the ash. And so it's so like eerie. It's this perfect like end of the world feel. I mean, I actually loved it after looking back at it. It's brilliant. So then, I'm just gonna skip forward ahead a little bit more, and then we get Vin versus the Inquisitors. Literally 13 Inquisitors are surrounding her. It's a super epic scene. We got, I believe there's rainbows, lightning, and then she's trying to like, wow, and she's like, I don't understand why can't I call upon Demishtin like bamboozle? Well, obviously because she had the earring. So I thought about the earring because eventually at some point in the book I was thinking, well, Ruin is able to talk to her like significantly in Pierce, so she obviously had to have some influence of like maybe a small hemorrhagic spike. I didn't think about the earring until there was a lot of like hints towards it, and I was like, oh, it's earring, and then it turns out it was, because Marsh was like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that was really cool. And so that turned out the mist bamboozled her, and what the mist reminded me of that scene where she like, I was like thinking, like one of those smoke commercials is like, when everything's just like coming towards her. I was thinking like that. I mean, it wasn't exactly, I mean, it was like a tornado cool swirly thing, but at the same time, it just reminded me of that, and I thought that was really funny. And then she turns out to become Preservation, and she realizes that the sun's like, whoa, and then she tries to like flip the world around, and it was like weird, I didn't understand it. And then basically, it's Ellen and the rest of humanity. Like all of a sudden, we realize that the population is so little at this point. Like, they all can fit into this, I mean, it's a big cave system, but still, like, it's weird. And so we got Ellen and we got the crew, and they're all like huddled together, and we find out they're ATM misting, so they take the ATM stash, they swallow it, which this scene gets so good. So good, guys. I love it. And so Ellen just charges out, and she's like, it's like this really cool, you know, like Lord of the Rings at the end, it's like, charging and whatever. It's like fighting for humanity. for freedom, for Braveheart, you know. Kind of, it's just like the end of humanity. It's a super cool scene, in this deep dark ash, and you're like, wow, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. And then, what is it? Vin and Ruin, they combine because they're trying to kill each other, basically. And all of a sudden, they're like, and then they both end up dead next to Ellen, because Ellen eventually died by Marsh, which I didn't understand Marsh coming back. I mean, I guess it's cool. There wasn't a really detailed explanation, but at this point, it didn't really matter, honestly, to me. It shouldn't. I mean, I guess it explained it a little bit, but not enough, because it's like in the moment, he's like, and then Ellen died. And then they both died. Collapse, saves right after and be like, no. And it was so good. I just loved the scene. And then he took both Ruin and Preservation and saved the world. And like this, it's so good. Another thing. You go back into this literature thing. I was starting into writing as well, so I've been writing outlines, little small stories. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. He stole my ending. That's right. He stole my ending. Brandon Sanderson, that genius. Brandon Sanderson is my favorite author, but Brandon Sanderson, I am coming after you, and I'm gonna shake your hand and squeeze it and be like, ah. But yeah, literally, I love the ending, and I love how Spook was like, basically Spook would become like the leader of the small little band after they rose, and it's like, oh, it's green pastures. And so that was great. I really loved it. And now, I forgot to mention, right before the big battle, there's a small little mention about the Shadow of Self. I was like, wow! And so that was like literally the best ever. Like, come on, Shadow of Self. And that's like the 5th book. So I can't wait to get into the 2nd era of the Mistborn series. That'll be awesome. Guys, that is it. I love this book. Anyways, never forget to bamboozle that like button. And if you like this, my social media links are down in the description below. And never forget to subscribe for more content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Good boys. Woo!